How's it going, SMCC? My name is Ben Roby, and I'm sitting down today with Cam Katraba talking about baptism. He's getting baptized today. So first of all, congratulations. So excited for this. Let me ask you a few questions. How did you grow up? What was your spiritual background like?
So I grew up a Christian. I grew up in church. I had a really, really great family upbringing. My parents were rock stars. God was always around and in our lives, which was really meaningful. And I was baptized as an infant into the Lutheran church, the Lutheran denomination. So kind of grew up Protestant Christian and always knew God was there. Always wanted to seek knowledge and learn. Loved theology, loved being at church, loved worship. But I think now looking back, I was a little misunderstood because I really wanted to read my Bible and to read all these different books and to talk to all these different pastors to learn about God, but not necessarily learn who God was and how my relationship with him would impact my life. And so I would kind of read and learn about God so I could win arguments and find places to agree with my own opinion rather than take the Bible for truth and learn who Jesus was and have a relationship with him.
Yeah, there's a tendency, especially for young people, to move towards duty and away from delight. Did you experience that? Like, what was the delight level like for you growing up?
The delight level was there, but it was kind of on the back burner.
Yeah.
I think I was a good church kid on the outside, but at the same time that I was a church kid, I was also kind of giving into my pride, my lust. I was addicted to pornography for like 6 years since I was 12 and kind of lived this double life where outside church kid, good learning, knowledge can win any theological argument because I think I'm right. And then also just deeply struggling and in darkness and kind of losing sight of where God is and trying to get through this on my own, trying to get through life and find success on my own without realizing that I needed Jesus and I needed to be in relationship with him, in close relationship with him.
Yeah, you use that word. I think that's a great way to talk about it. So talk about when you would say, if you can remember kind of like a moment, probably wasn't a moment, it sounds like it was a long process for you, but you even talked about pornography. Like, talk about how God shaped your views on that and like maybe when you committed your allegiance to him and like living for him.
Yeah,
you know?
I think it was a long process. That's why I love the core value at SMCC of trusting the process in which God changes people because, man, I tried to change myself a lot, like a lot, and it never worked. So I don't really have a moment to look back on, but I definitely know where the shift happened.
Okay.
The shift of the process starting happened when I started coming to South Mountain and got connected in a small group for college kids a couple years ago. And I had leaders that were really vulnerable and led with that, and that allowed me to be vulnerable and get my sin, get my shame, get everything I was struggling with out in the light so that I could work through it and grow closer to Christ.
I love that. So you've seen God work through you and in you in that way. Maybe even since then, how have you noticed God kind of like working through you and in you?
I think through, number one, his word, and number two, other people. I think those are the ways that God usually works nowadays is through his word, which is never changing, but always alive, and through other people. So I've had so many great leaders around me change me, but on my end, man, leading a small group at HSM, our high school ministry, has changed the game for me. Also just through worship, through being able to be on stage with so many great people my age and older than me, that there's so much wisdom to gain, and to see so many clear examples of loving like Christ around me has inspired me to love like Christ around me, with my friends, with my family, with my coworkers.
Yeah. So fill in the gap here, finish this sentence.
Yeah.
I'm getting baptized today because, how would you?
I'm committed to following Jesus for the rest of my life. I think I've come to the end of myself. Actually, my view on baptism, on communion, on a lot of these things has changed over the last year since having so many deep conversations backstage with you, with Joe McGavin, with Eric, with Mike, with Heather Erickson.
You mentioned Joe. Joe's baptizing you, Joe McGavin, HSM high school ministry pastor here. Talk about your relationship real quick.
Man, Joe has had such a big impact on me. He's legit changed my life. I came on staff at South Mountain to be the student ministries worship leader last August. Yeah. And since then, I've been able to meet with him every week, just seeing such a clear example, and I've seen this through you too, so much, but
thanks, man.
Of just how someone can live their life in a way that honors Christ in every avenue, from how he leads his team at HSM, to how he reads God's word, to how he treats his marriage. I'm really excited to have him baptize me today. He's made a huge impact on me.
No, he's a great example in your life. I'm so glad you have guys like that, honestly. So congratulations, and I'm excited for you to be baptized today.